the most important thing to keep in mind all the way through a process is the end result, because that engages your natural ability.
And the end result, how do you define the end result exactly? Because there is milestones in life, there is different things that we want to achieve. We think we want to achieve that, but then it's not really that. So we is it the end result? Is it, for example, oh, get that book published? Or is it really the end result? Oh, this book is going to transform millions of people's lives, and then
Yeah.
I will focus on that. I mean, how do you actually? What is an end result?
Well, an end result is anything that you define it to be, like sticking a straw through a potato, um, like living an enriched life, and as a complete end result, to have lived a fabulous, enriched life. But within that, as you say, you can have milestones that would lead to that enriched, fabulously enriched life, like a great relationship, a great family, good finances, good health, whatever. And you know, even within that, you might have milestones of, well, to have good health, I'll go to a gym. And you know, it doesn't matter. But as long as you predominantly focused on end results in your life over um, the process. And also, people get hung up about what the end result is. The main thing, Lilou, is, you know, and I really get serious at this point because it's a very serious point to make,
Mm-hmm.
um, is that my promise to you is it doesn't matter what end results you focus on. The important thing in life is to start becoming end result orientated. And you know, it might sound like a simple thing. It's actually a big shift to make in your life. You'll be surprised how actually we, you know, we actually, you'd be surprised how actually we're not as
Wired
end
that
result
way. We're
orientated
not
as we
wired
think we
this
are.
way.
Pardon?
I think in any culture, we're not wired
We're
this
not?
way. We're not wired. We haven't
No,
been
no.
trained to think this
It,
way.
no, you know, people can have learned all sorts of theories about, think of positively about end results and that, but they're unconsciously just always hooked back into the process. But you know, my point is here is that if you start becoming entrained in being end result orientated, end results engage your creative nature, and I don't care what a person starts focusing on as an end result, as long as they start, because then they will engage their creative nature, and their creative nature will begin presenting them with truer and truer end results to go for.
So
You know, more and more functional.
I hear that there's two things I would like now is to touch on faith, because it seems like it requires faith, and the second thing is intuition, which is a big one, a, very important here, I guess, in the process, and then you highlight in your book. So it requires faith, first of all, doesn't it?
Faith.
Faith.
Um,
I mean,
no,
how can you focus on the end result if you don't believe in yourself? How do you focus on the end result if you don't trust the process? How do you focus on the end result that it will produce something? How can you fully engage yourself in this if if you just trying it half out? It won't produce the results either, would it? If I'm thinking,
uh,
oh, I'm gonna do this, but really, you know what, he's full of crap, then it's not gonna do it. I did it again.
no, no. You know, honestly, I mean, this is a very contentious issue here, and I hear it every day. You know, I promise you, every day, because I'm on Facebook, and there's always inspirational messages coming across on Facebook, and you know, I hang around with personal development orientated people and consciousness orientated people, and there's this faith. You got to believe and have the belief, and when you believe it, you'll see it. And I say, no, 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 not true. When you see the end result in your mind, you will see it. You don't have to believe it. My son didn't believe that he'd put the straw through the potato when he did it. He did it. I have done so many things in my life that I didn't believe I could do. I didn't believe I could write a book, you know, and you know, yet I wrote a book that gives people a lot of benefit, and as you said, it has become the #1 bestseller in Australia, and hopefully that's going to replicate that success worldwide.
I am sure.
And by any measurement, it's a very successful achievement. But when I sat down and wrote that book, this book, I had no sense that I could do it, that I could write, that I could do anything. But what I did every day was I just sat down at my desk and focused on the qualities that I wanted to convey, that I wanted to communicate. And I held those in my consciousness. And then I would just write. And do you know, Lilou, I mean, you might not believe this, but all the way through writing that book, I thought it was rubbish. But I just kept writing, and I just delivered it to an editor, who then surprised me by saying, "Yeah, this is quite good. We can do something with it." Mm-hmm. And I could give you countless examples of where I or others have not had the faith. It's not a matter of having faith. It's having a premise in your life. It's having a concept that you claim and stick to and go, I'll just act as if life works this way. I won't believe that it works this way, but I'll act as if it works that way. That's all you need. And it's such a relief when you start living like that. I promise you, when you don't have to believe anymore.
So fake it. Is it different than fake it until you make it? Because you hear that a lot in the US.
Fake it till you make it. Well, I don't know what people mean by fake it till you make it. I guess everyone means different things, but I don't mean be a fake in life, but I mean just act as if end results have the power. Put your power in the end results, and then magic will happen, whether you have the faith or not. But I really, people might have a different understanding and teaching on it that I don't want to contradict, but I can only just tell you my way and
yeah.
what I talk about in my book, In the Magician's Way, is that you specifically do not need faith to create. You just need focus. You just need focus. And in fact, you don't want to get into believing whether you can do it or not, because that's just going to engage your rational mind. Mm-hmm. You just want to get into the end result and go with it and learn that discipline of being end result orientated. Now, the thing is, though, I must stress, is that when you actually do start living in the end result, you paradoxically enough start living in a space that's outside of belief, whether you outside of believe it or not. You kind of then living in a space where you actually do feel a connection. Mm-hmm. You feel your inherent connection to things. So a question of belief doesn't come into it. It's another world, Lilou. It is. If you're in the world of believe it or not believe it, then you're in some other world, but you're not in the magical world. That's all I can say
so
about
it's a non-formula. What I like is that it's not formula. It's not like do this tool, do this. It's really tap into this. Just focus on the end result, and magic will happen, and that's it.
Exactly. When it comes to magic, there are no formulas. There's no right way. That's why I'll never contradict a way. If someone says their way is the way of faith, I'll say congratulations, very sincerely, because I don't know what they mean by it. There isn't a way. There's just some techniques that you can use to engage your creative nature. Fabulous techniques, fun techniques, easy techniques that you can use to engage that nature. And when you do, you enter into a new world where, as I said, faith, belief, they don't exist anymore. You're in a world where you're more just connected, and you just try things and things come together. the success that you experience in life is not based so much on whether you do things totally right or totally wrong. It doesn't matter. If your focus is right, you can do everything wrong and it still comes together. And if your focus isn't right, you can actually do everything right and it still might come together, but with a lot of effort and struggle and whatever.
And then it all depends what you mean by successful. And I think you changed your definition of success at some point in your life about 20, 25 years ago.
Yeah, but also success by any definition, really. But absolutely, when you engage in end results and you start living magically, you, as I said, you develop an inherent connection. You discover what you naturally, truly connected to, what really gives you joy, what really gives you energy, what you're really about, what your real talents are, what your real purpose in life is, who you really are, and no one's going to give you as much joy as who you really are. And just more and more you start acting in favor of that.
And intuition is a big is a intuition is there though. We do have intuition to do things rather than some others, and sometimes our rational mind doesn't understand why we would be following this path towards this end result, right? And I mean, why would I do this to reach that? This is the rational mind wouldn't say to follow this route.
Exactly, and